everyone, and welcome to Elite Weather. My name is Mr. G, your meteorologist. Thank you for joining me right here on YouTube on your Friday, your last day of your work week for most of you. And if you do have to work this weekend, I will pray for you and pray that it goes well for you. But anyway, let's talk about our city of the day. And today's video city is going to be Sitka, Alaska, which I recently visited on my anniversary cruise. And Sitka is a very beautiful city here in Alaska. This is the Raptor Center right there. That's over my shoulder there, and in the wonderful city there. And it is home to the Tongass National Forest, which is one of the largest national forests in the country, which covers over 16.7 million forested acres of forest land there, and it is home to numerous amounts of wildlife, including grizzly bears, moose, as well as the bald eagle. You can see all of them there. You can see bald eagles at the Raptor Center, and I think there is a bear facility right here where they'll tell you about the bears, and you can go on tours and look for the bears. You can go on hiking trips. There are also whale watching opportunities as well in Sitka, so a very beautiful place to visit, Sitka, Alaska. And if you go to Alaska, I would advise you to make a stop there and check it out. So let's move on with the rest of the weather forecast right now and talk about what we're seeing across the country and the areas where you live. All right, everybody, we got some interesting weather to talk about across the country right now. We've been seeing much of the same for the last couple of weeks right now, where it's been that excessive rain over the Northeast and into New England. We've seen a lot of floods and weather emergencies related to flooding and things like that, and a lot of damage caused by flooding in New England and in the Northeast. And then out across the Southeast, we've had that oppressive humidity and heat, with those heat indexes soaring well over 100 degrees. We've also seen the oppressive heat down across Texas and in the desert Southwest, where those temperatures have reached nearly 120 degrees in Arizona and parts of Nevada. So we've dealt with the oppressive heat. We've had a lack of monsoon moisture, but fortunately we're starting to see some signs of life in the monsoon, so that's great news that we can get some rainfall through parts of southern Arizona as well. So hopefully that will continue to improve as we move through the rest of the weekend here and into your week next week. So that is about some of the weather that we've seen across the country. Thank you for watching the video. No, let's go. We're going to keep moving here. So here is a current look at our hazards across the country right now. And across the Southwest, you see all that purple? That is for excessive heat. That is for heat that is well above comfortable standards. That we're going to see that heat across the Southwest, where it's going to get as high as 118 degrees in Phoenix today. And then we have heat advisories from Texas all the way to South Carolina and Georgia, where we're going to be seeing that heat indexes because of the high temperatures in the upper 90s and high dew points in the 70s to near 80 is going to combine to make for heat indexes up to 110. So it's going to be oppressive heat down in the south and across the state of Florida. And then up there in the Northeast is all of our weather rolls from the heavy rain and the flooding. So we have a flood warning up there across upstate New York and through parts of Vermont and New Hampshire. So that's what we've been dealing with up there. Now here is a look at our precipitation analysis that we've seen over the last 24 hours. We've seen a lot of rainfall over here. We've seen, well, this is our current rainfall. We're seeing those showers and thunderstorms down across the southern plains, and showers and storms down here across the south. So the southern Appalachian Mountains, northern Mississippi, northern Alabama, northern Georgia. This is north of Atlanta and through South Carolina. We've seen showers and some thunderstorms. And we're seeing all that rain from our atmospheric river across the Northeast, from the mid-Atlantic into New England. We're seeing that heavy rainfall continue to fall right now. And here we are, as the last 24 hours, we've seen a lot of heavy rain across the upper Midwest. We've seen thunderstorms across Wisconsin and Minnesota. We've seen storms across the Rockies here, and we're seeing some monsoon storms down here across parts of the Southwest. So finally in Arizona, we've picked up some thunderstorms through central New Mexico and into eastern Colorado, through parts of Oklahoma and Kansas, and into Missouri, Arkansas, and through Kentucky, Tennessee, on over into the Carolinas and Georgia, and then down in Florida, we're seeing some heavy showers and some thunderstorms as well. So a lot of severe weather has been taking place out there across parts of America over the last day or two. Here's our current temperatures across the country, and we're looking at those temperatures in the 80s down here along the Gulf Coast, and we're seeing those 80s all the way over into Texas. We're looking at those 90s over here across the desert Southwest and into Arizona. It's still early in the day, so we haven't hit those 100s yet, but we're almost there. We're getting really close. So, and these are those temperatures across the upper Midwest, through the Ohio Valley, and into the Northeast. We're looking at those temperatures in the 70s. So it's still pretty nice out there. It's a little bit humid out here, out toward the farther eastern areas, along the Appalachians and into the Northeastern and Adirondack. It's a little bit of humidity, and we have that rainfall still taking place over New England. So we're seeing it a bit cooler there, but it's still kind of warm, all things considered. A warm rain falling over the Northeast, because the source for that moisture is the Gulf Stream and the this current right here off of the Atlantic coast, and it's pumping all of that warm, moist air around the Bermuda High in conjunction with a big area of low pressure over the southern Canada, over the Ontario, Canada, and Manitoba. Now here is our temperature change from the last 24 hours. Where is our cold front? Can anybody identify where the frontal boundary is? How about right here? See that line right there? That's where we have our cold front in place right now. And this is a warm front. So what we're seeing is warmer air. It's a stationary front, actually. It's kind of not really moving because of our blocking pattern that's in place. But we see it rain cooled air over Oklahoma and parts of the Ozarks and in the south. Even though it's oppressively hot, if you compare it to what it was 24 hours ago, it's cooler right now. And we're seeing that it's cooler across the mid-Atlantic, the Ohio Valley, and into parts of the Northeast as well. But look at the northern plains. We are warmer 10 degrees than we were this time yesterday. So it's starting to heat up across the upper Midwest and the high plains because of that expanding continental high moving in from the west. So we're going to see temperatures warm up gradually over the next couple of days. Now here is a look at our heat indexes. This is what the air feels like. This is the companion to a wind chill. So in the winter we talk about wind chills. In the summer we talk about heat indexes. This is what the heat and humidity combines to make the temperature feel like. It feels like it's going to be in the 100s. When we're looking at heat indexes from the southern coast of Texas to the southeastern Carolinas and through Florida, in the 100 to 105 degree range right now. So even though the actual air temperature might be even in the upper 80s, low to mid 90s, but because you have a ridiculous dew point, it feels like it's 105. So that's what we're looking at. We're looking at very high dew points across the Gulf Coast, and we're looking at high heat indexes across the desert Southwest. And that's just because it's just plain damn hot in Arizona. It don't make, and there's a little bit of moisture starting to creep in because our monsoon is developing, but it's just pretty damn hot out there. And the dew point and the actual air temperature kind of don't do too much to affect the heat index, but just because it's 110 degrees, it's going to feel like it's 110 degrees if you're in Arizona. So that's how that works. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? Here is our dew points. The dew points are starting to get stupid, or they're not starting to get stupid. They've been stupid for a long time, and especially along the Gulf Coast. If you live in Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Florida. You probably just hate yourself right now for living there because the heat, the humidity is oppressive. I mean, this is bad. This is not good. Thunderstorm juice. So thunderstorms are going to be kind of common out down in these areas. Any ripple in the atmosphere, any weak front nearby can kick off some storms because you got a lot of heat, a lot of humidity to work with. So thunderstorms are going to be kind of an expected thing to deal with on and off. Everybody may not get one, but just let's say it's going to be easy to start a thunderstorm down across the south. The dew points are still ridiculous across New England and the Northeast because of our storm. So it's still in the 60s across the Ohio Valley and through parts of the Midwest here. So the Missouri Valley through Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska, those dew points are still in the 60s. The dew points are creeping up across Minnesota and Wisconsin. They're in the upper 50s, but they will flirt with that 60 degree mark. Will make it feel a little bit sticky, even with the temperature getting a little bit warmer as well. So that's not going to be great. But if you're across the Rockies, beautiful, beautiful. No humidity. But look at our monsoon moisture starting to see that little tongue of moisture coming into Arizona. That's our monsoon moisture starting to kick in. So it's a little bit humid over Yuma and over Phoenix and Tucson. It's a little bit stickier because of the monsoon. So you might get an afternoon thunderstorm this evening in those areas. But here is a look at our big picture of the flood risk up in the Northeast. So if you're in New England, we're going to be dealing with a renewed flash flooding threat. And we're still going to have to deal with slow-moving thunderstorms, river flooding, and localized severe weather through parts of New Hampshire, Vermont, upstate New York, New Jersey, Rhode Island, Connecticut, and maybe parts of Maine as well. So another several inches of rain possible today across those regions. Here's what we're going to be seeing for the remainder of the day. There is our stubborn area of low pressure moving into upstate New York, right along the St. Lawrence River Valley. There is that frontal boundary, that low. There is our front that's moving across the Midwest. Remember where I showed you where that front was on one of the earlier maps, and I said pick out the front? There's the front right there. And we see it just north of Nashville, through West Virginia, Pennsylvania, and through upstate New York. And that's going to be the catalyst for more showers and storms down from New England. So upstate New York, western Pennsylvania, West Virginia, western Virginia, southern Kentucky, western North Carolina, Tennessee, through northern Arkansas, southern Missouri, northeastern Oklahoma, southeastern Kansas. You might still see a shower or a thunderstorm today. But if you're up here across the Great Lakes in the Ohio Valley, the northern parts of the Ohio Valley, it's going to be less humid behind the front and a little bit warmer as well, as we have a bit more sunshine to work with, but it will be more comfortable on the backside of our nearly stationary cold front that's moving across Appalachia and the Shenandoah area. How many people ever heard of the Shenandoah area? Do you even know where the Shenandoah area? Shenandoah is the Carolinas and West Virginia and Virginia and Maryland. That's the Shenandoah area. That's the Appalachian Mountain Range. So here is our severe thunderstorm watches or outlook for this afternoon across the Northeast and into New England. And we're going to look for downpours. Heavy rain is going to be the order of the day for these thunderstorms. We're going to see isolated tornadoes. Did you see the tornado in North Carolina the other day? There was it was near Rocky Mount in North Carolina. Did you see the tornado go through the mobile home park? Unbelievable. So we're going to see more of those weak category EF0, EF1 tornadoes again possible because of the area of low pressure. There's a nice little spin in the atmosphere down near the the surface because of that weak low. So we're going to see that. Some localized damaging winds up to 60 miles an hour. And we're going to see a lot of travel disruptions due to torrential downpours. So the Northeast is going to be on and popping this afternoon. So our front will slowly advance Saturday. Still going to be through parts of New England. We're going to see it crisscrossing through Maine and Vermont. There it is there. Down through Pennsylvania, through Connecticut and Massachusetts. And then it's going to go offshore right about Cape Cod right there. There's our front that's going to go out over the Atlantic. So we're going to see less humid on the backside of that front coming in out of the Ohio Valley through the mid-Atlantic. So New York City, Philly, D.C., going to see improving weather conditions. The humidity is going to drop for a little bit as well. Those dew points will fall into the 50s. And we're going to see it a little bit warmer as well on the backside of our slowly advancing warm front. Now, here is our current satellite of the Northeast right now. We're seeing those showers and thunderstorms through Vermont, Maine, and New Hampshire. So Vermont here, New Hampshire. Vermont, New Hampshire, and there's Maine. So we see our showers and thunderstorms. Massachusetts, there's Connecticut, and Rhode Island is right there, the tiny little speck right there. Here's our Long Island. There's New York City. There are some more showers just offshore, moving out over the Atlantic. So we're seeing those showers and thunderstorms moving across the Mid-Atlantic to the Northeast and New England. Here is talk about the other problem on the western half of the United States, where it's hot as hell. It's so hot in the desert Southwest. I saw videos of people frying eggs on the sidewalk in Phoenix in a frying pan. You just put an egg out there and just leave it out there for about an hour. And then you can fry an egg out there. Just put your little canola oil, dump an egg, and fry it right there on the sidewalk. So it's hot as hell in Arizona. Highs temp will be 5 to 15 degrees above historical averages for this time of the year. And we're going to be seeing the risk for heat-related illnesses, heat stroke, heat exhaustion, a lot of heat-related illnesses, really dry air, and an increased fire risk in some areas in the mountains as well. So because of dry lightning is going to be a problem across the Southwest. We're starting to see some monsoon moisture creep in. That moisture is elevated. It's going to create any rainfall that will evaporate well before hitting the lower valley surfaces. You may see some rain atop some of the mountains, the higher elevations. You may see rain make contact with the ground. But if any lower than that, it's going to evaporate because it's very dry down at the lower levels, in the lower valleys and things. So lightning could cause some fire. So we could see some lightning related fires across some of the mountains. And then here we are as we talk about that stupid heat dome. Now this is our same high pressure that's responsible for the monsoon. And it's on this region right here. We see that on the south end of this high, that southeasterly flow, that is supposed to pull up moisture out of Texas, off the Gulf of Mexico, and off the Gulf of California. And it's these moisture sources that gets entangled in the southern tier of this ridge of high pressure that brings in that moisture for the monsoon. So that will open the door for our monsoonal moisture, and we can see that monsoon moisture get wrapped up into the Rockies and along the periphery of that high pressure, which will lead to thunderstorm chances across the high plains and the upper Midwest. So the Dakotas down into Minnesota into the next week, as if this high pressure remains in place, eventually some of that moisture around the edges of that dome of high pressure will allow for isolated thunderstorms to move in to other parts of the country later in the week because of that moisture so coming in off of the Gulf and the Gulf of California. So watch for that in later weather forecasts. If I'm going to eventually start talking about how we're going to see isolated storms across the northern plains and along the edges of that dome of high pressure as it moves across the country. Here's our heat-related information across the country today. We have our excessive heat over the southwest, excessive heat down over the south, over Texas, and in Florida, our excessive heat. We're looking at those heat indexes over 100 degrees in those regions, and then we have heat advisories elsewhere. So it's a lot of heat, a lot of heat, a lot of heat. It's really hot, so do what you can to get warm. Go swimming, get in the lake, go pool, drink a lot of water, stay in the shade. Don't do too much outdoor in the middle of the day, and don't water plants in the middle of the day. Water your plants early in the morning at like during sunrise or early dawn, and in the evening hours after sunset. Then you can water your plants and your lawns. Don't do it during the daytime because it has absorption problems, so the water will quickly re-evaporate and it'll burn your plant. So you don't want to do that during the daytime. So just a little gardening information for your boy, Mr. G. I know about a lot of stuff now. Don't get it twisted. So anyway, here's Florida. Florida, see, we were supposed to go to Disney World for our anniversary. Because of this is why we went to Alaska. This is the reason why we went to Alaska. Look at this. 106 in Orlando. Are you kidding me? 108 in Tallahassee. 111 in Jacksonville. Get out of here. Those are heat indexes. The dew point is 79 degrees in Orlando. The air temperature is 99. That's the heat index you get. Stupid. It's stupid. Stupid. It's so why? Mr. G, why would you live here this time of the year? No. I always complain that I like it warm. All right? Yeah, I like it when it's hot. I don't like cold. I hate winter in Minnesota. I hate freezing. But I don't like this either. This is ridiculous. This is not cool. Not cool. So this is what we're working with in Florida right now. Not cool at all. Not cool. And then check out this heat. Look at Phoenix, 118. That's the actual air temperature. This is not heat indexes. 118 in Phoenix, 117 in Yuma, 86 in LA, 115 in Las Vegas. 86 in LA is not bad. It can get hot in LA. Now, this is LA City. If you go into the valleys, go to Bakersfield. It's 110 in Bakersfield. Fresno, 109. Palm Springs, 113. And so, basically because it's 86 in LA, that's near the ocean. LA is about 10 miles from the beach of Santa Monica. Santa Monica, it might be 70. California's temperatures in Southern California varies based on location. The temperatures on top of Big Bear could be 75 degrees, but you just go 50 miles away to Palm Springs, it's 120. It's stupid. So it really just depends on where you are, how the temperatures and the weather is in Southern California. It's so diverse. It's just unbelievable. Absolutely ridiculous. Watch a local weather forecast on the news in LA. They have to give a forecast for the beach, a separate forecast for the basin. They call it the basin, the LA basin. This includes Los Angeles and Orange County. A separate forecast for the valleys, San Fernando, San Gabriel, Riverside, San Bernardino. And then for the deserts, Palm Springs, Blythe, places like that. And then one for the mountains, Big Bear, Idlewild, Tehachapi. It's just they have to give a forecast for 5 or 6 different regions. They have to break it up by regions. That's how crazy the weather is in Southern California. And you can see a wide range of temperatures from the 60s in the beach or the top of a mountain to 110, 15 in the deserts. It's really amazing to watch a weather forecast for Southern California. And here is our temperature outlook for through the end of the month, from the 24th through the 28th. There is our heat dome. Look at it sitting here over Albuquerque. But look how far that heat will extend up into the Great Lakes and Minnesota. So it's going to get hot next week and toward the end of the month. It's going to be stupid and uncomfortable. The humidity is going to come, and if you're lucky, you might get a thunderstorm. These heat thunderstorms are stupid. I love them to death, but they are isolated, random. They don't make any sense at all because you just need some kind of a ripple in the atmosphere to kick one off. But you have the heat and the humidity already in place. You just need a kicker. And if you don't get a kicker, it's just going to be hot and stupid. So if you're under a heat dome and the air is stagnant, there's no ripple in the atmosphere, no atmospheric wave aloft or something to get the air lifted up, clouds to form, and thunderstorms, then you're just going to have to swelter through that mess. But that's what we're looking at toward the end of the month. It's just going to be ridiculously hot. So here it is. Now let's talk about the monsoons. So available moisture. We're starting to get a little bit of moisture coming up out of Mexico, and I'm going to stand over here. Okay, this is some moisture coming up out of, this is not typically where the moisture for the monsoons come from. We can get something from here, but it typically comes from this direction across New Mexico, northern Mexico, and then into southeastern Arizona. It rarely comes up from southwestern Arizona. When it does that, it's usually because of a tropical system over Mexico. If there's a tropical storm over Baja or near Baja, when they unravel, sometimes the moisture can get caught up and streams into Arizona, and it can enhance the monsoon moisture that way. But we don't typically see this. So this plume of moisture right here will make it an increased likelihood of a thunderstorm from Yuma, Phoenix, Maricopa, Graham County, Pinal County, down here, Nogales. I used to live in Arizona, so I know about all the regions in Arizona. So you can see those thunderstorms along the Green Mountains, the Santa Ynez Mountains, Catalina, the Rincons, down here near Tucson. You can see those thunderstorms from that. But so that's our source. You see a little bit more deeper moisture coming up out of Texas, southeastern New Mexico. And with that area of high pressure overhead over the four corners, that will eventually pull some of that moisture in. So we're going to see our developing monsoons. The monsoons was my favorite time of the year because it doesn't rain in Arizona too much. It never really rains. You know, they say it never rains in Southern California. It never rains in Arizona, goddammit. And the monsoons I look forward to because the monsoons are the most spectacular thunderstorms you could ever see. They're elevated. They're usually high aloft in the air. The lightning strikes jump for miles. You can see lightning strikes blast across clear sky from one group of clouds to another group of clouds that are like 10 miles away. It is ridiculous. And it's the loudest claps of thunder you'd ever hear. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Monsoon thunderstorms are the most photogenic. They are beautiful. Trust me, you have to see the summer monsoons in Arizona across the Catalinas and the valleys near the Desert Museum. Go to the Desert Museum in Tucson when a monsoon storm comes over. Wow, unbelievable. So anyway, here's our area of high pressure that's going to help to tap into some of that moisture off of the Gulf. And here are some storms and showers that we're going to be seeing over parts of Texas and eastern New Mexico. So this is where we can see some showers and storms still to come. We can see some light green here, so this is meaning we're going to get less than a ½ inch of rain down here in southern Arizona, eastern Arizona, and central New Mexico. We can pick up 1 to 2 inches over northeastern New Mexico and northern Texas and parts of eastern Oklahoma. And these are those afternoon showers and thunderstorms. Again, here is our precipitation outlook from the 28th of July through the 3rd of August. We're going to really see our monsoon probably in full swing. But look at that focus of that moisture along the Colorado River. This is the Colorado River here. This is where Lake Havasu City down to Yuma. That's the Colorado River. This is where we're going to be seeing a focus for that monsoon moisture. So some flash flooding is going to be possible, possibly in that area as we get closer to that time. All right, so let's talk about the tropics before we wrap this up. Okay, so we got the potential for something in the Gulf, in the along the Eastern Caribbean. This here is the Lesser Antilles. So we have these open waters out here. This is Invest 95L. This is a tropical something that's developing, but it's not a depression yet. It's just something we're keeping an eye on, a cluster of thunderstorms. And that is going to be moving across this region over toward the Lesser Antilles. And we're going to be keeping it an eye because it has a 40% chance of development over the next 7 days. So we're going to keep monitoring this system because it's possible for some development. And here is the model consensus of what could happen over the next several days. And this is through Wednesday. And some of the models have painted it moving toward the west-northwest. This is what we call, this yellow one. This is our lead model here. That is one that's going to be our consensus model. So this is going to be telling us that the system is going to continue to possibly further develop as it makes its way toward the Lesser Antilles and probably across the Southern Caribbean. So it's going to most likely pass south of Puerto Rico, pass south of Dominican, Haiti, and Cuba, and Jamaica. So hopefully it will stay clear of those places and move out in between. So we'll keep an eye on that. So that is your weather forecast. My name is Mr. G. Had a good time today entertaining you guys with my antics. Thank you for watching me today as we back to our daily forecast for a while now. At least I'm going to keep them coming for you. Leave a like right here to this channel right here on YouTube. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Bye-bye.